bringing sexy back. Yeah. The mother boys don't know how to act. Yeah. I think it's special what's behind your back. Yeah. So turn around and I'll pick up the slack. Yeah. Take 'em to the bridge. Dirty babe, you see these shackles, baby, I'm your slave. I'll let you whip me if I misbehave. It's just that no one makes me feel this way. Take 'em to the chorus.
Come here, girl.
Go ahead, be gone with it.
Come to the back.
Go ahead, be gone with it.
VIP.
Go ahead, be gone with it.
Drinks on me.
Go ahead, be
See
gone
what
with
you're
it.
twerking with.
Go ahead, be gone with it.
Look at those hips.
Go ahead, be gone with
You
it.
make me smile.
Go ahead, be gone with it.
Go ahead, child.
Go ahead, be
And
gone with it.
get your sexy out.
Go ahead, be gone with it.
Get your sexy out.
Go ahead, be gone with it.
Get your sexy out.
Go ahead, be gone with it.
Get your sexy out.
Go ahead, be gone with it.
Get your sexy out.
Go ahead, be gone with it.
Get your sexy out.
Go ahead, be gone with it.
Get your sexy out.
Go ahead, be gone with it.
Get your sexy out.
I'm bringing sexy back.
Yeah.
The motherfuckers don't know how to act.
Yeah.
Go let me make up for the things you lack.
Yeah.
Cause you're burning up, I gotta get it fast.
Yeah. Take 'em to
Listen.
the bridge.
Dirty babe, you see these shackles, baby, I'm your slave. I'll let you whip me if I misbehave. It's just that no one makes me feel this way.
Take 'em to the chorus. Come here, girl.
Go ahead, be gone with it.
Come to the back.
Go ahead, be gone with it.
VIP.
Go ahead, be gone with it.
Drinks on me.
Go ahead, be
See
gone
what
with
you're
it.
twerking with.
Go ahead, be gone with it.
Look at those hips.
Go ahead, be gone with
You
it.
make me smile.
Go ahead, be gone with it.
Go ahead, child.
Go ahead, be gone with it.
Get your sexy out.
Go ahead, be gone with it.
Get your sexy out.
Go ahead, be gone with it.
Get your sexy
Go
out.
ahead, be gone with
Get
it.
your sexy out.
Go ahead, be gone with
Get
it.
your sexy out.
Go ahead, be gone with
Get
it.
your sexy out.
Go ahead, be gone with it.
Get your sexy
Go
out.
ahead, be gone with it.
Get your sexy out.
You ready? You ready? You ready?
Yeah, I'm bringing sexy back.
Yeah.
You motherfuckers, watch your eye attack.
Yeah.
If that's your girl, better watch your back.
Yeah.
Cause she'll burn it up for me, and that's a fact.
Yeah. Take 'em to the chorus. Come here, girl.
Go ahead, be gone with it.
Come to the back.
Go ahead, be gone with it.
VIP.
Go ahead, be gone with it.
Drinks on me.
Go ahead, be
See
gone
what
with
you're
it.
twerking with.
Go ahead, be gone with
Look
it.
at those hips.
Go ahead, be gone with
You
it.
make me smile.
Go ahead, be gone with it.
Go ahead, child.
Go ahead, be gone with
Get
it.
your sexy out.
Go ahead, be gone with
Get
it.
your sexy out.
Go ahead, be gone with it.
Get your sexy
Go
out.
ahead, be gone with
Get
it.
your sexy out.
Go ahead, be gone with
Get
it.
your sexy out.
Go ahead, be gone with
Get
it.
your sexy out.
Go ahead, be gone with it.
Get your sexy
Go
out.
ahead, be gone with it.
Get your sexy out.
You ready?
Yes,
You ready?
yes, yes.
Nope. All right, we are back, and unfortunately, we were unable to get a hold of the man who is booked for this time right now, so we are just going to kind of wing it at the moment. It kind of happens when you're doing live, although we did double confirm with this person. I guess I don't know what's going on. So anyway, the show must go on. So we are going to try to work to push our next guest up in the future until we get a response back to see if that's possible. We're just going to talk a little bit here of what we just talked about with the past two guests. Sounds like Julie, I believe Julie is feeling much better. I think she had some time.
Oh yeah,
there.
from what we've talked to her a little while ago after the whole Angel Luck situation, she sounded a lot better. And I feel for her so bad because everything was pointing like they were going to contend in the AFC this year, and then just it exploded out of nowhere.
I will say this. Let's take some time since we need to fill a few minutes here. let's put it like this. There was some things that Jay was wrong about. Dave, do you want to get into this more? That's about as much as
There was some what?
There were some things I was wrong about. Wasn't correct on.
Oh yeah. Oh, so I mean, sure you don't want to save it for Parker's segment so we can discuss it since he's coming out for the Packers?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't want to, but I was just trying to fill some time. We don't have to say what I was wrong about, but I'm going to say this so it can be played over. I was wrong. But here's the problem. I have a philosophy that I live by, right? It's a very prominent philosophy that I learned from Mr. 50 Cent and Terrence Howard, okay? And it's an awesome
Get rich
one.
or die trying?
Yes. And it goes something like this. I'm right when I'm right, and I'm right when I'm wrong, because I could have been right about being wrong, therefore it makes me right. Thank you.
Well, I'm going to come out and say it anyway. There was no way in hell the Packers were going to only take 5 receivers into the 53 roster, man. There was just no way. Especially with how they use weapons, I have to say it.
Oh, yes. Okay, yeah, just rub it in a little more. Whatever.
Yeah, I got the salt jar. We're going to clean this. We're going to clean this wound out. I'm going to play doctor now.
I was pretty. Look, I'm going to be real. I was a little. Dave had to give me a phone call when I had 187 notifications when I actually got to touch my phone at 2:40 when I was finally done.
I was all over social media today, folks.
Well, it wasn't just you. It was just everything going on between my personal Twitter account and then the show account, which are both on my phone. It took me 2 hours, and here's the problem with Twitter. It never stops. So, I'm trying to catch up, and there's new stuff piling up. I was so stressed and so dejected by the time I got done reading through it all. I have a default category for emotions. Some people cry all the time. I get angry, okay? And so I was pretty angry at the time, and so Dave had to give me a call and kind of...
I had to play therapist.
He had to talk me back into a good mood. I was upset, wasn't I, Dave?
Yeah, you said you thought you were lied to by the Packers on, there was supposed to be a different scheme. You felt it was, more of a Mike McCarthy system still, but I had to kind of tell you, sit you down, lay on the leather couch, and let therapist Dave go through and explain. The theory you've always had was the Rams and the Falcons, when they went to the Super Bowl, they had this Shanahan hybrid offense that they ran from Mike Shanahan, but that's evolved over the years. And McVay learned it from Kyle Shanahan, and they made it their own thing. But still, it's still a similar scheme in that they both went and lost to the Super Bowl. And I had to call Jay up and tell him this. I'm like, what's the one constant that they don't have when they lost the Super Bowl? And Jay I think he was so mad he couldn't even think of it, because normally he usually quick on his toes like this.
No,
so
I
I'm like,
think straight.
It was Aaron Rodgers, man. They have not had an elite quarterback in this offense, folks, since John Elway. This scheme, they have not had that type of talent. And now you're putting Aaron Rodgers, who people argues as the GOAT, or one of the best of all time ever throw, to different fans. He's in their top 10, he's in their top 5. So, he's one of the best ever play. So, I had to get Jay to realize that. Rodgers is going to be in this offense. And he said, well, they usually had heavy running backs. And I'm like, I understand they had heavy running backs back in the late 90s. It was a different type of football. They had to adjust their scheme to the time period of football that they're in. It's a heavy pass league. And you can use screens as runs or draws or the delayed zone scheme read option. You can do all that and still count them as kind of like a regular run offense. But with Rodgers, there's endless possibilities. If you put Aaron Rodgers in that LA offense last year, if you put Rodgers in that Atlanta offense in 2016, he is the type of quarterback that has the cojones to go out and audible those plays or audible the plays that need to be fixed and go ahead and win the Super Bowl. That's why this year I fully believe that people have no idea what's coming.
No,
once Rodgers and this offense clicks, it's done.
And once Dave got me back into my correct mindset, and see, this is I'm gonna admit it. Like, I am still like 50-50 here. That's about as good as I've gotten so far between being an unbiased analyst and a fan. And the fan part of me just overpowered me for about an hour and a half or so until Dave kind of kicked me in the side of the proverbial head, so to speak, and got my mind back in the right track with his nice talk he had for 45 minutes on the phone about 2 hours before showtime, so that I wasn't on air completely irritated and going off on tangents that made no sense logically, physically, or mentally, which can happen sometimes with Jay.
Well, I know you knew, I think, the direction that we're going in, and I know you wanted the old school pound the rock, and it's just not that type of football anymore, man, especially not when you have a guy like Rodgers at QB that can make different things happen. It's not the type of era of football that we're going to keep 5 or 6 running backs on the roster. I mean, I also think it played into the fact that Geronimo Allison is now one of your favorite players in the Packers, and I think you wanted him gone that much to maybe think you were going to keep 5 wide receivers. I don't know. I feel like I need to have like a tribal fire with an Indian chief to get you to realize how valuable Allison is in this offense.
I guess I feel like with him, it's not that I hate him, but I guess I guess the pendulum has swung so far, and everybody like acting like this guy is just a lock, just a great receiver, and all this, and it's like I just see an above-average guy that's inconsistent, and he's good, but like this praise, I think that's what it is on me. It's almost like this automatic pushback because it's gotten too far. Like, when he first came on the scene, I was all the name even. I was Geronimo! But it was an underdog thing, and then it's like, I still watch the kid that's not that polished. He's not consistent. He's not what everybody's making him out to be. And so I guess it became this almost an over pushback on Geronimo Allison. Yeah, to the point where you kept telling me I was hating on him. It's like, I don't really hate him, but I guess it's almost an overcorrection on my end because I felt like it was getting too far, that he's just one of these prominent great receivers that any team, I don't think there's a lot of teams that would make space for Geronimo Allison if they cut him. That's just the way I feel. Like, I don't think he's a bad receiver, but I think he would be one of those players on the list that if he was cut, we would add him to that list of, yeah, he was good here, but nobody else even wants him on their team. I guess that's just where I land on Geronimo. And he's still a young player, so yes, he can grow. But that's where I'm going to stay to. It's just an over-market correction on my end from where I feel that people are praising him too much, too fast, too soon. If that makes any sense.
No, I mean, I get where you're coming from. I just have seen him the year before and in 2017 have this knack of just knowing where to be when Rodgers plays break down in the McCarthy system, and Allison would know exactly where to go, exactly what to do. And that's why I am fully comfortable in having him in this offense as like a wide receiver 2 or a wide receiver 3. I just think he's also got a good route running ability. He just doesn't have the top end speed, but he has that, what's it called? He has the good technical side. And I feel like if he does stay healthy, which I think he can, I just think that he can be a big asset to the offense overall in like what was it called? I feel like Geronimo Allison and Jake Kummerow